So finally, I own a second copy of Jigglypuff, the brand new promo Jigglypuff. It took me a while to get there. I actually have 3 now. But I finally want to try out the new Jigglypuff. There was a lot of speculation about Jigglypuff being a really strong card, and I think she is probably decent. But so far, she's underperformed. For a while there, I had a single Jigglypuff, and I was just slotting her into a Dragonite deck, and honestly, she underperformed where I wanted her to be at, so I'm curious to try her out now that I have 2 copies. I can actually build like a Wigglytuff deck with Jigglypuff, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think generally Wigglytuff decks want low energy cost cards to combo with her. So if you're building your own Wigglytuff deck, you want something that it's not going to be much of an investment. A few key Pokemon that I would recommend are Weezing is potentially a decent combo with Wigglytuff because it's only a 1-cost investment, and it's an easy deck to fill out, right? You go Weezing and you put Koga in, and that's usually, that's 6 deck slots right there, and then the rest of it should be relatively easy to fill in. I think Marowak is actually a pretty good combo for Wigglytuff because, again, that energy investment is relatively cheap. It's more expensive than Weezing at 2. I think you generally want to be aiming at 1 costs, but 2 is okay, especially for Bonerang. Bonerang's really good. If you want to lean in like a non-EX direction, not Seeking. What is the name of it's the evolution of Golding. Is it Seeking? Yeah, it is Seeking. Okay. This is also a 1-cost investment and potentially 80 damage. But what I'm going to be trying today is the eggs. Executor is a relatively strong card, and if you remember a while back, I don't remember if I did a video on this, but I was live streaming for a while, and I was really, really convinced Execute plus Vileplume was like a really good combo because, honestly, just because of the way that it tempos out. And Wigglytuff is really comparable to Vileplume. If you compare the 2 cards, they're almost identical. Obviously, one's a non-EX and one is an EX. The big difference, the reason you would want to consider Vileplume over something like Wigglytuff is because of Erica. Erica targeting only grass Pokemon. But I think more often than not, your Erica usually goes on the eggs. So maybe it's fine running Wigglytuff over the Vileplume, which is what we're going to try today. So this is pretty much exactly my Vileplume list. It's just we're running Wigglytuff instead of Vileplume. Now what we're going to do is plug in some trainers. This should be relatively straightforward. Usually when you get to the part of the deck where you're just including trainers, you run out of card space pretty quickly. I wonder if this deck ever wants Giovanni. Probably not. And we do want the potions, because obviously the potions work really well with Erica and Executor. All right, well, that's going to be our deck list. Let's see how it goes. Again, I have high expectations for this. I actually think it will perform pretty well, but it's mainly going to be because of Executor, and I'm not really sure how Jigglypuff will perform. I've never tried this, even though this deck has basically been in the game for a while. The big advantage of doing this over Vileplume is that she only needs to get to Wigglytuff. She doesn't need to go from Oddish to Gloom to Vileplume. So there's pros and cons to Wigglytuff versus Vileplume. For our cosmetics, we want to be running this Erica card back and all the Erica stuff. Beautiful. All right, let's jump into some games with the brand new Wigglytuff, or I guess the brand new Jigglypuff. So this is meant to be kind of like a first impressions video for Jigglypuff, but I do want to try and do more gameplay-oriented videos going forward. And if that's your type of thing, let me know, because I'm unsure about that direction, to be honest. We'll see how it goes. We have second eggs. They're starting off with their Moltres, which is good for them. I wonder if they have any basic Pokemon to start pumping with Inferno Dance. They would probably prefer to have an Arcanine here, because coming online earlier is better than coming online later against this deck, I think. Actually, it probably doesn't matter. Like, if he hits the full Charizard line, he goes over the top of us anyway, unless we get some Wigglytuff high rolling. So as long as he just has a basic Pokemon to attach to, he's pretty happy here. And if he doesn't, he's pretty upset. All right, he doesn't have anything. We're gonna go. Ooh, we have a potion. Have a potion. That's pretty good for the future. We can evolve our active Execute into Executor and start flipping some coins for 40 to 80 damage. All right, just dealing 40 now. That's okay. As long as within the next 2 attacks we're able to land 1 coin flip, we're happy. We would love to draw Jigglypuff. I don't really want to put another energy on Execute. I would much rather put it on a Jigglypuff so we can get a Wigglytuff going in the future. Ooh, he has the Sabrina, which is kind of annoying, actually. Still no basic Pokemon for him, but he has the type advantage, so maybe Moltres is just enough for him. We found a potion. I am going to attach, and I'm going to naturally retreat. I'm not going to use the X-Speed, because Execute is always just 1 energy away from being active, whether it's the evolved version or not. So I don't think we want to commit that X-Speed just yet, especially because we can always use the X-Speed to get an Execute out if we need to for whatever reason. So basically, because we don't need to use the execute right now, also because we don't need to use the X-Speed right now, we shouldn't, is the thought process there. So we did miss our second coin flip on Tropical Swing. Oh wow, there's water energy in his deck. What's going on there? I only just realized that. 90 damage. Not good. Oh, we found the Jigglypuff. Great timing. We can develop the Jigglypuff. Attach for turn. We can play Erica to do some healing. Put us out of range of a second Heat Blast there. And hopefully we just land this coin flip for the game. Okay, we do land the coin flip for the game. Fantastic. See ya, Moltres. I wonder what our opponent's deck looked like. It had the water energy. Okay, well, unfortunately, Jigglypuff didn't get to do much for us that game. It was just a... yeah, bad reference game. Let's get into another game. We have the Jigglypuff. Maybe this will be a good example game for Jigglypuff. I think generally speaking, you would prefer to lead with Execute regardless, so we'll do that. And then we'll just kind of see what our hand looks like going forward. We're going second, so we get the first attack of the game. What are we up against? We're up against a Mankey deck. Not great for us. It's also not the worst thing in the world, though. He has research in opening hand, and we don't. That's not a great start. Goes for the Pokeball. He hit Pokeball and research. Surely we hit Pokeball and research to make up for it. Develops the Mankey. So he has 2 Mankeys in his deck. Only 1 promo Mankey. Unfortunate. Pokeball will help us find our second Jigglypuff, which is kind of unfortunate that we drew the Execute here because now one of the Pokeballs in our deck is dead. We won't need it ever. Honestly, I want to attach on the bench Jigglypuff here because I don't see a world where we're really fighting with this active Execute. We're like 2 attacks away from being KO'd here, and that's almost certainly going to happen, so I don't feel the need to attach the energy on Execute at all. Basically, I don't want to make his job easier. It feels like that's what I'm doing if I attack with Seed Bomb here. And if I start investing in the Wigglytuff, I feel like that's going to be a net good for us, especially, like, yeah, I think we just have to rely on drawing a good Wigglytuff this game. It's kind of unfortunate. It feels like we're relying on a specific draw as opposed to, like, making a good or bad play. Ooh, opponent goes for the Marowak Evolution. And there's the Mankey without having attacked. Not sure why they went for that line. I think I would have attacked first. Because now he doesn't have a way of turning Primeape's effect on. Primeape obviously would prefer to have his effect active. Especially in this matchup, right? The 40 damage is just short of being able to one-shot all of my basics. Oh, he's going to X-Speed out. He attached and then X-Speeded out. What's he pushing? Marowak? Oh man, this is weird from opponent's perspective. He pushes Mankey. What's happening here? What's happening? Okay. We found research, which is fantastic news. I would love to find a Wigglytuff here so I don't feel so bad about attaching more energy on Jigglypuff. Okay, we found Wigglytuff. Okay, we can go all in on Wigglytuff this game, which is great news. Just in case they're running a red card, I will go for the evolution here. It's not like I'm giving away information. The only information I'm giving is that I drew the card. Obviously, they know I'm running Wigglytuff, right? So it's like, it's whatever. It's much better than the downside of not playing the Wigglytuff, where they might red card us and then we're sad. And then we just don't draw Wigglytuff again. There's the research. Opponent's drawn both researchers now, so they're 7 cards deep. Or 13 cards deep. Attaches second energy to Primeape, but he doesn't have a way of getting damage onto that Primeape. He does go for the red card, so thankfully we played that Wigglytuff. It'd be very unfortunate if we did not. Alright, X-Speed into Oak. Okay, we found Oak post-red card, so that's great news. We do have the X-Speed to get out as well, so we can start attacking. We go for the Oak to draw some cards here. We find the Execute. Oh, we found both Execute. That's actually good news. We can go for the X-Speed now, which I think we're absolutely going to do. X-Speed to get Execute out, push Wigglytuff. And Wigglytuff is in the active. We can go ahead for the attach and start evolving. We're evolving now. See ya. Good news. And now Wigglytuff can swing for 80. I do think generally you want Wigglytuff to be your thing closing out the game rather than making like proactive plays like this, but it just kind of worked out that this was the vision, I think. I think it's easier for our Wigglytuff to kill Primeape than it would be for Execute to kill Primeape, because if Execute misses a coin flip, then misses a second coin flip, we don't get the kill, where Wigglytuff doesn't need to land her coin flip to get the kill in 2 attacks, if that makes sense. Which is Marowak with no energy on it. I can't believe that's correct. I just simply cannot believe that is correct. Alright, let's attach for Execute and swing for the Sleepy Song. I believe my opponent has turned their phone off, so I'm just stuck here, unfortunately. Yeah, there we go, error. Opponent just disconnected. I mean, Wigglytuff felt fine that game. The new Jigglypuff is probably an upgrade over the old Jigglypuff. It's just the difference is really minute. Because in most cases, you're not actively fighting with Jigglypuff anyway, because you're trying to prolong, basically you're trying to fight with something else and then have Wigglytuff be the thing that you close the game out with. So it doesn't really matter what the basic version of Jigglypuff is doing. So it actually just might even be the case that the old Jigglypuff having the plus 10 health, making it less susceptible to any type of splash damage, like, just as an example, like an Articuno Blizzard plus 2 pings from a Greninja. It might be the case that you would just prefer, oh, red card here is a potential huge upgrade. Yeah, it might be the case that you just prefer, oh yeah, that's a huge upgrade, okay. Unfortunate for opponent that they gave us that, to be honest. Yeah, you might just prefer the 60 health over the 50 health, assuming that you're not going to do anything with the Jigglypuff. Alright, let's attach for turn on Execute, and we can go for the card draw with Professor Oak, drawing another Professor Oak. Fantastic. We're just going to attack with Seed Bomb, and then next turn we can go for the Evolution and start putting on pressure with our Execute EX. Alright, he's going for an Inferno Dance here. Alright, let's go for the Evolution. We can Oak. I mean, strictly speaking, we should have Oaked first, but what are you going to do? Why is it saying I can play this? I can't play this. Goofy game. Alright, let's develop our Jigglypuff, attach for turn on her, and then swing with our Tropical Swing. This should actually be a pretty good example game. Oh, we land heads, leaving Moltres on just 40 health. Because even if they deal with our Execute, which I'm pretty sure isn't going to happen, our Wigglytuff is a really good response to a Charizard. Like, it's pretty rare that Charizard can fight against... Well, it's pretty rare that anything can fight against a Charizard, I should say, because, like, Charizard's kind of designed to be the you put him in play, you win the game card. It's, like, got a ton of health. It's got the ability to one-shot any Pokemon. It's just, like, a really big, beefy boss monster. And Wigglytuff is, like, the one thing that can... Well, not the one thing, but it's like a Pokemon that can actually fight it. It requires some RNG and some high rolling, but it can win a one-on-one fight with Charizard where most Pokemon cannot. Alright, so our opponent only attached 1 energy there. Can't be happy about that. Attach our second energy on Jigglypuff, and we can go for the Evolution into Wigglytuff. We won't play the Jigglypuff because it opens us up to, you know, another Pokemon, one of our Pokemon getting destroyed here, and then them using a Sabrina to get the 3rd prize point. We want them to forcibly have to take 4 prize points instead of 2. Or sorry, instead of 3. So we'd take that 40 damage. Unfortunately, we would have preferred the coin flip there to kill off Moltres, but 90 damage. It's a lot of damage. Thankfully, though, we do have Erika's and we do have potions. So we're going to use Erika. This is 80 damage. With Charizard, it's one-shotting us anyway, so I think we're not supposed to potion here. I was going to say pontion here. That's not words. All right, let's swing with Tropical Swing. KO the Moltres, and like I said, even if he has the Charizard, there's a chance that we're still beating him here. If he has Charizard plus Sabrina, it's pretty bad because well, it's not pretty bad. It's just losing us the game because Wigglytuff is not winning a one-on-one fight with... Executor is not winning a one-on-one fight with Charizard. In fact, I should have played the Jigglypuff to play around a Sabrina here. That was a misplay. I should have played the Jigglypuff. Because if he has Charizard plus Sabrina, it's over. He can't do anything. Alright, he's going to go for the Crimson Storm here. Does he have the Sabrina? Wait, why didn't he Crimson Storm here? Oh, actually, I do see the vision. He's trying to... Yeah, I see the vision. For the same logic that I just talked about before, I'm going to develop this Jigglypuff. And... I'll attach the energy here. We can use the Erika because if we use... we can't use Erika on any other target, so we might as well use it, even though it doesn't fix any of the math here because he's just going to Crimson Storm. I mean, he has to Crimson Storm now, but him Crimson Storming doesn't matter either way because he's going to have the energy to Crimson Storm twice in a row. We would love a successful coin flip here. Okay, that's fine. It actually doesn't matter too much because we do need to land 2 sleepy songs anyway, which means we need to pass a sleep check. And when I say pass a sleep check, I mean we need them to sleep a turn, not to have them not wake up. Okay, there's the Pokeball. Develops the Charmander. Goes for the Crimson Storm, knocks out the Executor. You did your best, Executor, thank you for trying. But it is a Wigglytuff's time. Alright. It just comes down to one sleep check. That's all it is. Opponent's already used one potion, and they would need 2 potions to survive 2 hits. So it's literally just as simple as, do they survive the check? Do they survive the coin flip? And we'll see. Comes down to a coin flip. Sleepy Song! But the nice thing is, like, even though this comes down to a coin flip and we might miss it, any other Pokemon would be done for here, right? So Wigglytuff's the only one with a chance, and she gets through! Look at that, Wigglytuff taking the win against this Charizard player. Alright, let's go Executor. It says Executor was the MVP, but make no mistake, Wigglytuff was the MVP. No one else, no other Pokemon was getting past that Charizard in that situation. I actually think there's a really good argument that the new Jigglypuff is quote-unquote worse than the old Jigglypuff, because we don't want Jigglypuff in the active anyway. We want Jigglypuff sitting on the bench, and if that's going to be the case, we would rather the plus 10 health until Wigglytuff is ready to go. However, the utility of Sing is a unique piece of utility that doesn't exist elsewhere in the game for this low cost of an investment. So, with that in mind, I do think that the new Jigglypuff has its place in the meta, or at the very least, it will have its place in the meta someday. And I think a lot of people will just run this version of Jigglypuff because there isn't a huge difference between the plus 10 and the, between the 50 and the 60 health. And plus it's the new flashy thing, so it's what people are going to want to run. But yeah, basically this card has made, I think, a much lesser of a splash than I thought it would when we were evaluating cards ahead of time. I might do a video either on Haunter or on Greninja next. Let me know which one you'd be more interested in. Thank you so much for watching. Keep being awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one.